What's good, everyone? This is DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need and representing that new media nation united. Today's topic will be called The Game Within the Game. Now, we all know tomorrow the Minnesota Timberwolves will play the Charlotte Hornets. This will be an important game, not only because it's LaMelo Ball versus Anthony Edwards, but the stigma that it will come with it. Now, if you've seen Minnesota play, you know that Minnesota gives Anthony Edwards all the minutes, all the usage rate, and the opportunity because they want to prove that their draft pick is right. As for the Hornets, they're not treating LaMelo like the franchise player, and it's a miracle that he has 20 plus points as a starter. But these are the politics, aka politricks, that goes along behind the scenes. I expect Anthony Edwards tomorrow to go all out and to be given the power to do so. We'll see if James Borrego really cares about LaMelo Ball. If he doesn't give him enough plays, enough touches, he would tell me and every other fan that he's a snake like I thought he was. And Rev, brother, what do you think about this legendary topic we're discussing?
It is a legendary topic. And this is no shot at the great Joe Frazier, but I'm going to use an analogy. For every Ali, there's a Joe Frazier. And if you're familiar with the way Joe Frazier was painted during his time versus Ali, if you study it, he was basically pushed up by the media to be the anti-Ali. That's what Anthony Edwards is. No matter if we accept it or don't accept it, it's not that we talking down on the brother. Like I said, I always say it. And first off, shout out to new media. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to the president, DJ. This is New Media Nation United, brought to you by DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. But Anthony Edwards represents everything that is wrong with the system. And what do I mean by that? Anthony Edwards' grandmother died and his mother died. And I think it was within 6 months. It was a very short time period. A young man that was dealing with all of that still had to go play for the University of Georgia and not make any money on the books. Coming out of one of the worst areas in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, so I know. That's the old way. That's the way that LeVar Ball was up against. So really, he's the antithesis of the opposite of LaMelo Ball. Tomorrow, I'm with DJ. To me, this is the most important game in the young career of LaMelo Ball, because I saw them do the same thing with his brother and De'Aaron Fox, Lonzo Ball and De'Aaron Fox. We're gonna dive deep. This is gonna be a very deep conversation. I think this is one of the most important shows we've had. So I'm interested to hear what our elder brother Coach has to say. And we're gonna get into it.
Well, thanks, Rev. I appreciate you. Thanks, DJ. Appreciate everybody here on DJ's Raw and Cook Truth. This is the new media. Happy to have an opportunity to come before you guys again to share some of the things that I see, and let's make it happen. To everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys there. Let's get the likes up, if you will, because we want to make sure that we promote this new media so that we can change the narrative. See, because it's each of us has a role to play in new media. See, if we're going to change things, which we have the ability and the power to do, right where we are, right where you are. You have that power by just hitting that like button, by hitting that subscribe button, by sharing this video, You're letting other people know that you appreciate this content, that you think this is something worth listening to. So, and you know what, you guys are absolutely right. I'm piggybacking off of that idea, that concept of, I like that Rev, that revolutionary. I like that uh, analogy you use with Ali and Frazier. You know, that goes back to my day, and you're absolutely right. It happened a little bit before that, was to show you, to put it in a little bit clearer context of what their motivations were, why they were pushing this narrative. Okay, is when Cassius Clay fought Sonny Liston. See, when he first won the title way back in the day when he was that young dude, and many people thought, even on Ali's side, you know, you can't beat this dude. This dude is a mob figure. This dude is a beast. He gonna chew you up and spit you out. Clay put that work in on him, the way Melo put that work on him. See, and then he gonna put that work in tomorrow too, irrespective of JB. See, when he hits the court, you better believe Melo's coming with an attitude of I'm going to get mine. You know, he said the last time he had a big game, you know, he said in the press conference, you know, I told my teammates beforehand that you know, I was gonna be putting up a few. Absolutely, he did. He gonna be telling them again. Okay, I'm gonna be real aggressive. So Big Cat, if you back, and I think Big Cat is back, just know, boy, you got Melo coming your way, because and you might want to call the Eiffel Tower the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I guess. I don't know, because he looked like he was stuck when they played Melo and them, and Melo was going around that Gobert like he was a cone, like he didn't know where he was. So Cat gonna get some of that tomorrow too. See, so this is gonna be a great topic tonight. We're gonna chop it up, the game within the game, because this is really about illuminating the mental aspect of this of warfare, of competition, because that's what it is. What you think about that, DJ?
This will be a war of epic proportions. The reason why we named this a game within the game, it's beyond LaMelo and just Anthony Edwards. It's about the status quo of old media and the system that they have brothers in the hoop journey to get to the NBA versus the unorthodox, that's what they say, coach, version of LaMelo Ball and how he got to the NBA. Unfortunately, this was modern day Mandingo fighting. Two brothers, black men, going against each other for the enjoyment of the powers that be. One side is rooting for Anthony Edwards because he went through their system. And I like Anthony Edwards. I think he's a good kid. And then the other side, they're against, because this kid, LaMelo Ball, has a father who they deem is a villain because he's going around changing the system so much that the G League had to create something for high schoolers, changing things so much that now they're talking about, I believe, 2023 or 2022 even, to let high school kids come back to doing the out of high school draft. See, when a black man creates power, they will change everything around it just so they can take some of that power back. Yes, LaMelo was a millionaire growing up, but he's faced so much adversity that normal teenagers shouldn't face. So much hatred from adults that no kid should see. And now the kicker is in. I looked on social media and they announced that Tebe is questionable. Now, I'm not an expert on ankle injuries or groins, but I would think it would take longer than that. Why all of a sudden? Now, this is nothing against Devontae Graham. This is on JB. And I'm sure JB is going to try to coach LaMelo to play a team game and don't make this one-on-one. Because you know Anthony Edwards will. Let's see if he has LaMelo's back. If he doesn't give him the shot attempts, the plays, like I said earlier in this video, the courage that we're going to make LaMelo look good, because you know Minnesota's doing it, then this coach is not meant to coach LaMelo.
I want to give the listeners something to ponder. And coach is going to know exactly what I'm talking about, and DJ is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. The elites of this world follow a certain system. And one of their phrases that they like to follow or live by is that God don't play dice with the universe. Now, it was a time where I was really into ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a hooper's hooper. I'm talking about at the gym, 8 o'clock in the morning in the summertime to 12 o'clock, take a break for an hour and a half, and I'm there from pretty much 1:30 to 11 at night. That was every day in the summertime. Like I was that dedicated to it. And I remember being 12 years old around 2003, 2002. And I remember, I'll never forget hearing names like Sean Dockery, Willie Bynum, and all of these inner city kids from Chicago that were some serious hoopers. And I remember them being jumped by names like Chris Duhon. And this was my first education with the business of basketball. Now, it's a couple things, and this is why I was so keen to do this show. It's a couple of things that some people can call Teely and not Brett Lawler. I done had a height. I mean, I could dunk, but I wasn't super athletic. And back then, if you was a 6-foot guard, you had to be able to play above the rim. And I couldn't consistently play above the rim. I had handles and I could facilitate and shoot, but I wasn't an above the rim player back then. You used to have an above the rim game if you was a short guy, for the most part. But with that being said, read the tea leaves. Don't get caught up in what you see on the court, man. The reason why I said God don't play dice with the universe and the way they think, the elite of this world. Look at how the referees set the tone. See, because what happens a lot of time, and this is what frustrates me about our people sometimes. Not sometimes. One of the biggest problems we have is we're reactionary. We're not proactive. And when I say that, I mean, if you prepare yourself for the game within the game, tomorrow, if it goes left, your frustration isn't there and you're able to look at it without emotionalism. Watch the tone that the referee set at the beginning of the game when it comes to Melo. Watch the tone that the coaches set when it comes to Melo. Look at the matchup on paper. Look at the matchup on paper and say, who has the more difficult time tomorrow? It's not Anthony Edwards, because we know the Charlotte Hornets are very undersized on defense. If Devontae plays tomorrow, he's barbecue chicken. Even if Devontae doesn't play, if they run that zone, they're barbecue chicken. Anthony Edwards is a streaky shooter and a downhill player. The people that have had success against the Charlotte Hornets this year are the players who can hit the three on the zone and play downhill because they really don't have rim protection. Like DJ said, if Melo comes into this game handicapped tomorrow and you see the official setting a certain tone, that's the game within the game. So I'm preparing just in case this thing is already mandated. And you see Anthony Edwards with 35 tomorrow, you see Melo with 5 or 10. Don't allow them to make us reactionary where we become emotional when the night before we were already schooled on the game before the game. Go ahead, Coach.
You know, Rev, that was right on point, my brother. Right on point. I feel you. I'm going to expand on that. I like that. I'm expound on that, I should say, not expand. See, what we have to understand is that this is not just competition. This is a narrative that feeds this nation. Okay, that's what this narrative is. See, I didn't watch the Stupid Bowl on Sunday. And
Facts.
the reason I didn't watch it is because I knew before the game how it was going to unfold because of the narrative that was put forth. Brady against the young boy.
Patrick Mahomes.
When Patrick Mahomes, when everybody knows Brady at this stage in his life is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. Nowhere near. Can't outplay him on his bad day. But when the narrative is set, see, and the system is back in the narrative, then you hear stuff like, well, before the game, Patrick's toe is worse than it was 2 weeks ago. Wait a minute, what? Playing without his 2 left tackles. Wait a minute, what? I said, man, I wish I would pay attention to this nonsense. Because it's being said. See, this Devontae being questionable, as DJ just said earlier. This is a groin injury. I mean, come on. We both know that anybody that's been around sports know that groin injuries and those are tough injuries. You don't rush those back. See, but I can see Borrego and them rushing this kid back and feeding him with the idea that he needs to get back so that he can keep his spot. See, I watched that draft, this draft, and I was just fascinated by it. I'm like, are you really going to show and keep perpetuating this one story from the mud? Really? Out of all the players that have come through, all the players who have been successful, you still trying to hold on to this. The only way for us to come through anything is come through the mud. We must show that we have overcome, we have persevered the most horrible conditions imaginable, and then come out smiling on the other end and thanking them for the opportunity to struggle, the opportunity to come from the bottom. See, because that fits that narrative that they want to promote, that is the only way for us to matriculate, the only way for us to go forward. And if you ain't coming from the bottom, then you ain't legitimate. You're less than. You're wanting in some way. See, they ate that thing up instead of really talking about it as if these are human beings who have gone through horrible, unimaginable pain and trauma, losing his mom and losing his grandmama like that, back to back. I found out just here recently that Biz over on the Charlotte is raising his siblings in Charlotte. About 5 or 6 of them. Why ain't that story out there? Don't fit the narrative. See, so I expect Melo tomorrow to do and take the posture in his self the same way he did when he faced Zion in Vegas when they were playing that game Okay, Zion's team won, but Melo outscored him. You can believe that. And played a better individual game than he did. He did. So I expect Melo to, irrespective of JB's meddling, he gonna tune him out tomorrow. I'm just holding the space of 50, 40, 90 for tomorrow for Melo. 50, 40, 90 for Melo tomorrow. And take his belt off. And I believe he's going to do that. Because LeVar said it, and he has shown it. He is special, and he's an entertainer. Melo loves the bright lights. And this is going to be the bright lights. So let me pass the mic for a second before I go and keep going.
I'm going to address something. Now, what I'm going to say, you could take it what you want, the audience, but this is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, New Media Nation United. We don't sugarcoat ish, and we keep it real. So back in the day, the CIA did an experiment called the MKUltra program, and the lead professor, the person that was controlling the experiment, named Henry Murray, bullied, harassed his victims, give them LSD and other chemicals to pretty much tell them what they're going to do. Now, this is a different situation, but I compare Devontae Graham and James Borrego situation as the MKUltra program. I'm going to tell you why. Everything he's telling Devontae, he has him convinced. You should always be the starter. You should always get your minutes, even though you were injured because of it. You will always be chosen over LaMelo. I believe that Devontae believes in this because he always hears it from his coach. We cannot win games without you, Devontae, which is not true. We can win without LaMelo. LaMelo's not the only thing on this team. So when Coach Joe told me and the brother Rev that he's not really faulting Devontae, Coach is right. This is all JB. JB comes from a coach that knows how to control people. Greg Popovich. And you know what? Greg Popovich was in the military. Navy, top service. A lot of secrets when you're in the top service of the Navy. What are the Spurs? When you watch the Spurs, what do? They always listen to Pop no matter what. What happened to Kawhi when he did his own thing? His own teammates destroyed him in the press. They told Kawhi to suck it up and play through a serious injury. They said Kawhi was mentally fragile. They emasculated him in the media. They had a crazy white girl in Michelle Beadle lose her mind on TV saying that Kawhi is the worst thing in basketball. She's a Spurs fan, by the way. So now it makes sense. James Borrego is using those same methods as the CIA and the person who controlled the hypnotizer, Henry Murray. Now, I know this is basketball, but this is a game within the game. You could choose to use common sense, or you can be like everybody else and get your talking points for ESPN and other Shine networks. The choice is yours. Use your mind.
I want to just say really quickly, DJ, before I go over to give it to Rev. Pop mastered in psychology. Okay.
And see, both of you brothers are hitting on so many points. And that's why I was so proud to be on this panel and talk about this with you brothers. I see some detractors in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And I used to, when I was in my early 20s, I used to be frustrated about things like that. But I come to understand that the reason why certain people stay in power is because the sheep is never able to become aware of the shepherd's intentions until they under the blade. Because a lot of the times, the sheep is good-hearted. The sheep is the everyday man and woman that's just, trying to do what's best for their family. They're not looking at it, as DJ says, with the ruler's mentality. I'm not going to say ruling class this time, because we're talking about people with a ruler's mentality, meaning by all means, there is nothing on this green earth that major marketing dollars are put into that is not manipulated or controlled. Religion, sports, comedy, doesn't matter. If there's a way to put a message in it, they're going to find a way to put the message in. Oh, well, brother, that's conspiracy theory. Well, that's why logos are on the court during the games. If we're going to go there, let's go there. That's why certain teams have certain advertisements on their jersey. They're not giving these players all of this money with no intention behind it. You can create an all-star. I've seen them do it. You can create an all-star. I've seen them do it. So with that being said, I think Coach has hit it right on the head. I'm not even, and Coach would know more basketball than me, but I'm not even putting a number on Melo's performance tomorrow. That's not really what I'm looking at. Because like I said, if they really, I'm just going to keep it a bean. If they really want to keep Melo out of the game and take him out of the game, there's ways to do that. That referee that came out in 2005 and exposed the Lakers and exposed the Rocket series that worked for the NBA, he told us that. So they won't get me with the WWE again. If they really want to take him out the game, they can do it. The thing about it, what I'm looking for is what Coach is talking about. If Melo was still a dog throughout it, that's the key. I'm not looking at the numbers tomorrow because I know the numbers can be manipulated. Because if it takes me manipulating the numbers to justify his lack of all-star votes, that's what I'm going to do. If it takes me making this, and I'm going to tell you how they look at Anthony Edwards. I'm about to get real. And DJ, I apologize beforehand. They look at Anthony Edwards as the uneducated field Negro, the buck, the athlete, what they're used to. LaMelo would come from the lineage, and I'm not talking about complexion, I'm talking about his ilk from what his father tried to do as a liberator of the slaves. So if it takes me putting this young man on a pedestal for one night just to slow down the fire that is LaMelo Ball, because I got some evidence tonight that's pretty damning for all of those who were arguing with me and DJ about him starting and talking to Coach last night in the chat and saying, well, Coach is over exaggerating with how good he's saying Melo is. Like my brother Steve Coakley used to say, and shout out to Steve Coakley Jr., the good white sources, the athletic. Everybody respects the athletic. Shout out to my brother Rated, the GOAT, and shout out to New Media's own Unoriginal Truth One for sending me this article. The name of this article is LaMelo Ball is keeping historic company with LeBron, Kyrie, Kobe, and KG. They go on to say in this article, I think in the last 20 years, it might have been longer than that, LaMelo is one of the 11 rookies to be on such an historic pace. So that means all of the times that people have come in here and said that DJ was over-exaggerating about LaMelo, or coach was over-exaggerating about LaMelo, or LaMelo can't be better than Ben Simmons, and LaMelo can't be better than that. The people that watch the numbers in the game are already saying he's on a trajectory with names like LeBron, Kyrie, Kobe, and KG. This is heavy. They go on to say later on in that article, and I'm about to throw it right to Coach. They go on to say later on in that article that out of all of those names, his performance right now, the way he's projecting, if he keeps on his trajectory, is better than all of them. LeBron, Kyrie, Kobe, and KG. Now, the Athletic is saying this, but they're telling us a young man with 6.3 million Instagram followers does not have over 100,000 votes to be an Eastern Conference All-Star. Where in the West, Alex Caruso, who is coming off the bench for the Lakers, is damn near in the 10th spot. It's the game within the game. Let's go, Coach.
Woo, Rev. Hey, Rev, you cooking, brother. You bringing the fire. You reminding me of stuff right now and bringing stuff. Rev, I thank you, boy. Woo, wee.
I
Let
appreciate
me
you,
tell you what
brother.
this reminds me of. This reminds me of when I was a boy, when I was a kid. See, when I was a kid growing up in the city of Chicago, outside the city of Chicago, the Bulls, we didn't have a Bulls team that was any good when I was growing up. So they weren't really on TV, so we didn't see the Bulls. The Bears stink, so we didn't really have the Cubs stink. We didn't really have that either. Okay, didn't really have none of that. But you know who we had? We had Isaiah Thomas. Okay, and Isaiah, for those that don't know, came from the west side of Chicago, one of the toughest neighborhoods to come out of. Single mama, older brothers, gangs, drugs, the whole 9 yards. White coach Gene Pinjator came and got him out of the west side and brought him to a Catholic school, predominantly white, and to play basketball. They said Isaiah had an angel smile. Had him on TV, on the news every Friday. We could see Isaiah's Friday after the games, Isaiah's highlights. See, went on to Bobby Knight. Bobby tried to control him. His brother threatened Bobby to choke after the Pan Am Games. He put his hands on Isaiah's one of Isaiah's brothers, who was a pimp. Went up to him and told him, "Look, you ever put your hands on my brother again, you'll be looking for them hands. You don't put your hands on my brother." That was the beginning of the fall of Isaiah Thomas, the angel. They put a hit job on him because he didn't fall in line. Going to Detroit. I was in Detroit at that time, watching the Pistons. And I watched him say, you know what? I will accept being the bad guy. I will accept being the villain. And that narrative holds today with Isaiah. There are people today that have diminished his greatness because of the shines and because of the system and because of how they look at him, because they couldn't stand the fact that this brother here refused to capitulate to their games. You're not going to diminish me. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines for you. I'm not going to allow you to throw me around and do what you want with me. And my brothers are here to back it up. It's not happening. Somebody just put in about Whitney Houston. That's another story there. And I can tell you about that one too from my time with Whitney, but we ain't gonna go into that right now. But let me tell you something. Rev, you are absolutely right. But see, Melo has something that I see that a lot of our kids, a lot of the kids coming through the age didn't really have. And they didn't have a LeVar Ball.
Facts.
See, he got a LeVar Ball. And LeVar Ball is all that in a bag of god doggone chips. Okay? Always been that. And ain't giving no quarter either for no nonsense. And he raised his boys that way. And that young one that we talking about, he got his daddy in him. Out of all of them, he got a lot of his daddy in him. How many? Listen, you have done. We've been listening to these games and watching these games. Rev, you have. DJ, you have. Many of y'all in the chat have. How many of y'all has been paying attention ever hear of a rookie or any player after a game being interviewed after having a good game, and the announcer asked that kid, that player, well, how did you do it? How did you pull it off? And his response is, my mama and daddy raised a killer.
Boy.
Melo Ball said to them shines in the South, them Geechees over in South Carolina. I see y'all, fam. I ain't disparaging you. I'm just see you. That was for y'all. He was letting y'all know your boy is here and he ain't scared. He said, my parents raised a killer. That's what this here is, with a straight face. See, I have compassion for Anthony Edwards because they putting him out there to fail. Because he doesn't have the game. He doesn't have, he's got the athleticism, but he doesn't have the game to overcome what he's about to receive. See, Melo's got the game to deal with the shines. I mean, how many rookies have you seen? How many NBA players have you seen? One night come out, make 7 threes, and next night come out, make all floaters from 10 feet. Next time come out, make floaters, this, that. I mean, just any way you want. That's Melo. LeBron James wasn't that. He was trying to figure out his game when he got into the NBA. I'm telling you. Kevin Garnett was trying to figure out his game when he got here. I'm telling you. There ain't one dude that I know that came out this young that knew his game and had it figured out when he got here. And that was Kobe Bryant. That was Kobe. Kobe was that way. That's why Jerry West said, out of all the dudes I worked out, the supreme architect, the supreme scout that knows how to evaluate talent. He stole, and again, look at the parallels. Melo down in Charlotte. Kobe was in Charlotte, drafted by Charlotte. And Charlotte got tricked, into doing what? Into giving up an old Vlade for generational talent. They gave that up willfully. They was happy they were so happy to give that up. They thought they had they had outmaneuvered Jerry West. And he's smiling. And I'm gonna tell you something else. It ain't been 2 kids I've ever heard be referred to as a golden child. And that's Kobe Bryant and Melo Ball. You can hate if you want. That's true. This kid is beyond special because he is already slaying these demons that are coming at him on a daily basis down there. Slaying them. See, so it always takes a while for the peanut gallery to come on board to recognize what's obvious. It's okay. Ain't nobody hold it against you. I went to first grade. You still in kindergarten. They ain't mad at you because you in kindergarten. See, but the truth is the truth. And those that can see the truth, can feel the truth, knows that Miles Davis was amazing beyond words. Woo, look how I switched that up real quick. See, I'm talking about the greats. Melo's in that category of the greats. Quincy Jones was running with the big boys at 18 and 19 and 20 before he turned Michael Jackson into what he turned him into. See, this ain't my opinion, because I don't have an opinion that's this incredible. I can only give you facts. Everybody went crazy over Zion. LaMelo outdued his behind. Sure did. LeBron them couldn't even get in the game. And he didn't have the team that Zion had. But he put that work in, though, didn't he? He sure did. See, that look last game that Melo was that I saw on his face, you know, that looked a little sad. I think it was determined. You know, I think it was a serious look. We just hadn't seen him that serious since the last time LeVar cussed him out after one of their games of him staying up all night playing video games and not getting his rest. That's the last time he looked that way. But he had a look on his face that I recognized in killers when it come to this thing. And again, Anthony Edwards, I hope I want him to do it. I want him to do as the best that he can possibly do, because he is not prepared. He does not have the infrastructure that Melo has to deal with a long fall, because they will set him up and discard him in a heartbeat when it's convenient. So yeah, the referees, they're gonna play their games. They always do. But Melo has a way to get around all that. If you really watch him, he takes the temperature of the room really quick. That's how he's been able to take over this team and 15, 16, 17 odd games. How he had his teammates advocating for him. That's why. Because he's special. So let me pass the mic.
DJ, real quick, if you would allow me, because I'm seeing people disputing with Zion's the Zion outshining Zion situation, and I'm not reading this in competition with the comments in the chat. These are teaching moments,
right?
And today we brought the tools for you to learn. We got some sources that I think have helped manipulate your perception on reality. So we're going to use these same sources to free your mind tonight. This is from The Athletic, DJ, and I'm going to pass it right to you. However, there's one thing about the 2020 draft class that we've already gotten massively wrong. The narrative that wasn't that one guy at the top of this draft. Ball is making that look ridiculous. He is unquestionably the guy. Let's just say out loud what everyone is thinking in 2020 hindsight. Not everyone. This is me saying this. Not everyone. Old media saying it. Ball should have been the top overall pick. Not only because the rest of this draft didn't have a clear-cut number one relative to the other recent top overall picks, Ball still would grade out pretty well. In fact, relatively to every teenager who ever played basketball, he grades out well. Remember above when I said being a halfway decent player as a teenager is a tremendous accomplishment? Well, being genuinely good at 19 is even rarer. Look at where LaMelo's season ranks among teenage prodigies. This is the kicker. In the three-point era, we've only had 10 teenagers play at least 500 minutes, post a PER of at least 15.0, a BPM of at least 1.0, a basic baseline of, hey, this guy is pretty good. Ball is on track to become the 11th with advanced metrics that clear my cutoff by a mile. Bro, this list, so for everyone talking that Zion stuff, and look, bro, I'm not with the sensitive male energy. I'm just not, bro. When you box and you get in the room and you get in the ring, we love all the brothers that get in the ring, but somebody might get knocked out. They're in a competitive sport. When you're a competitor, there were times I was on the court with brothers that looked just like me, and I was trying to bust their ass. At the end of the game, we could be friends, but right now I want to be the best. So with that being said, let's read this list of names, because we've had to hear these narratives since night one, DJ. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Let's end it right now. This is one of the top writers and one of the top scouts for The Athletic. So let's end it right now. These are the same guys that are responsible for guys like Zion Williams being ranked the way he was and being drafted where he was. Kyrie Irving, Tracy McGrady, Luka Doncic, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond, Zion Williamson, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Jason Tatum, Kevin Garnett. This man has played 26 games, and I'm looking at these numbers. If he plays 20 more games at the rate that he's playing now, LaMelo Ball will have the greatest rookie season of all times. I'm looking at the numbers right here. If you do not believe me, go look at the article. So I just wanted to read that because I knew we can't help but regurgitate old media narratives when it's all we hear. It's like if they tell you left is right and right is left, if they tell you enough times, once somebody comes on like Coach or DJ and tells you the truth, you're going to regurgitate. And you're going to say, well, Zion is different. Zion is a great player. And I'm not diminishing Zion at all. Zion is a great player. But Zion is pretty much a one-trick pony. And if you watch basketball, you understand that. His main means of scoring is he used to be a point guard, so he still has point guard handles, put his head down. If they cut him off at the rack, he ins and out or he crosses over, puts his head down, gets to the rack. He has no other means of scoring. No other means of scoring. Coach just laid out before you how a rookie has shown you so many different ways to score 20 and 30. One night he hit 7 threes. He can't get a layup to fall. The next night he comes back shooting on the run floaters to the point I've never seen a guy shoot so many open floaters. And I was trying to understand why those floaters were open, because the defense is so terrified. They're belting out to their man because they feel like he's going to drop it off and they're going to recover and get dunked on. See, now we teaching you the game within the game. If your response is Michael Jordan averaged 28 his rookie season, he was handed the keys to the organization his rookie season. That's not the same thing. The reason why the writers of The Athletic are so high on LaMelo is because they understand he's doing this in limited minutes. This is insane. This is insane. Go ahead, DJ. I apologize, brother.
So much truth, my brother. And let's take it back. LaMelo's process, and I hate that word. Y'all know I hate that damn word. His journey, let's use journey. His journey to the NBA. It's quite a unique one for the fact that when he was young, his father, LeVar, would always put him on the worst AAU teams. I used to watch the Big Ballers AAU team. They looked like a high school team. They didn't even look like an AAU team that you see regionally. Never had the biggest centers or power forwards, small forwards. And LeVar did that on purpose. You know why he did it on purpose? So that he can prepare LaMelo for the rigors of professional basketball. professional basketball, once you get past the glitz and the glamour, is so much of a power struggle. Not only you got to deal with media, but sometimes you may have a toxic coach or an egotistical owner. And that being a rookie, you have both things going against you. But the reason why you see LaMelo being a fighter is because all the lessons his father taught him, he's using in this game. I believe in Coach when he says that LaMelo, when he was looking pissed off, he was really just looking like, yeah, I'm a show off. I'm going to prove a point. This kid LaMelo Ball is something we haven't seen in a while. Not just his game, but his presence. See, old media would present you and tell you that LaMelo Ball is a brat and this and that. That's further from the truth. What he is a young man who has been villainized by the media. So he will continue to give the media the same simple answers that they deserve. And yes, goated, because I know you've been asking this the whole time. I think LaMelo will be starting, but I do believe that James Borrego will find some way to not get him involved as much. I would not be surprised if I saw that. But back to this topic. LaMelo Ball is prepared in the game within the game because not only did he have his father teaching him, he has JJ advising him. JJ played the NBA. He's seen how this league operates, and he has navigated LaMelo away from the pitfalls of this league. He's advising him. Every time LaMelo had an off game, he'll come back and just go off. And you wonder why? Because of JJ. JJ told the media that LaMelo watches so much film, win or loss after a game. If that's not determination, I don't know what is. A lot of young athletes that get in the NBA to get this little money, and they think they big time. But some of them, not all, don't really know what it means to do more than what's on the court. When you get in the NBA, you don't play just for the front of the name. You play for the back of the name. I remember my father used to tell me, son, I can't really give you much, but what I do give you is that last name. Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass the last name. And those are the same teachings I take with me right now. The reason why I'm not worried about LaMelo, even though I know some more adversity will come, is because he's destined for this. And one day, he will rise above the hate.
DJ, for me, I appreciate that so much, my brother, because you just brought something back to my mind. Thank you. Speaking that truth on DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, new media. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna share with you guys when the moment I saw that Melo was the best player on the team, and the coach hates him. Y'all want to know when that moment comes? I'm gonna tell you when it happened. And it was the Indiana Pacer game, second game. When Borrego called a timeout, point something seconds on the clock, they inbounded the ball. Borrego calls a play. Melo sees that play is stupid, and he deviates. and Sabonis is standing behind with his back to him. Nobody is on the ball. So Melo threw the ball off of his back and his elbow, so that they would have no chance of getting a shot off. And as he's smiling and walking to the sidelines, I'm watching everybody. And here we are in an NBA basketball game. And these are NBA players, veterans on the floor, NBA coaches on the bench. And these people are stunned. They don't even know what happened. I'm looking at their faces. They don't even know what he did. When I saw Borrego, he had a frown on his face and ignored Melo and walked right by him. What coach would not go up to his rookie and say to him and pat him on the back and say, "Boy, you are something else. Wow, I got a winner. I got a winner." Would not give him, would not put him up, would not hold him up. What coach would do that? Would not do that. Especially being the youngest. But they didn't do that. Some of them dudes on the team didn't even know what happened. Because Melo made it back to the bench while some of them were still milling around the floor waiting for something else to happen. And the game is over. Referees on their way to the locker room. That's when James Borrego knew Melo Ball don't do what you tell him to do. He does what he knows to do. And he also knows that you can't do nothing about it. That you're going to be gone before he is. Way before he is. See. See, Melo is bringing to the table a brand of basketball and an IQ of a young player that we have never seen. I saw Kobe when he was young. Do you hear me? I'm telling you this. I worked Kobe Bryant out his first year. Was up at UCLA with him early in the mornings and throughout the day. Him, Sean Murray, and some other ones too. Okay? I was in practice. Dale Harris let me come to practices his first year. I saw what he was doing in the gym with Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel and the rest of them dudes as an 18-year-old getting ready to turn 19, like Melo in August as well. Him and Kobe got a lot in common. Their journeys too. I watched him in there. Serious, focused, talented, relentless, and above all, confident, like you wouldn't believe. Kobe's confidence pissed people off. Melo's confidence pisses people off. I hear Cat Williams in my head right now saying, self-esteem? What, you blaming me for your self-esteem? Don't you know it's called self-esteem? Worry about your own goddamn self. What's wrong with you? Blaming me for your self-esteem. Are you stupid? You blaming a 19-year-old for how he was raised and how confident he is because you don't understand. So what do? You push up against. You reduce, you diminish. I'm gonna tell y'all a Kobe story real quick here, if you allow me here, really quick. I coached a couple of high schools here in Los Angeles, and so I've had kids in college and some in the pros and that kind of thing. So this one particular day, we up at UCLA, and for those that don't know, that Magic Johnson started the NBA run up at UCLA when he was here. So that's been going on a long time, and it's usually in the afternoons, and then the college guys play in the evenings. So Kobe's regiment was to get to UCLA early, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30 early. Be there all day doing all kinds of stuff. We would do all kinds of stuff. Taking breaks, eating, whatever, and doing a lot of talking. Kobe, very brilliant, very smart dude. You got a kid. And so he plays he plays with the pros at 3. Been up there all day. Then he takes a little break, and then we go and do some more drills. And then when the college kids come in later on at 7, he's ready to go. These are his peers. He's ready to go again. He's been there all day. They just getting there. College kids home on vacation. So that was the year that, for those that can remember, that was the year after UCLA won the NCAA championship with Toby Bailey and Tyus Etney and the O'Bannon boys. See, so they were bringing back Toby Bailey and all them, Jelani McCoy and some of these other ones. So Kobe's got his team, and one of my kids that played with me got coached and playing on his team, and a couple other ones. And the first game they play is against UCLA's team with Toby Bailey. Now anybody that knows, Toby Bailey was a up and coming freshman. People really high on him. I watched, and the gym watched, Kobe Bryant at 18 years old take his belt off and whoop Toby Bailey's ass in every way possible. He's the only one other than Melo. I've seen Kobe do this. Melo's the second kid I've seen do this. At that age, can dominate all kinds of places on the floor. Kobe was hitting him with turnarounds like Jordan and Akeem. He was crossing him up and dunking on him. And Kobe was very, very athletic. He kicked his behind. Kobe won about 10 games in a row. Now it's time to go home. College guys, they want to party, hang out. They putting their shoes on. Many of them will leave, getting ready to leave. Kobe loses the 10th game. His team been on the floor all day. Been playing ball all day. So he's walking around the gym trying to convince the players to play one more. And the guys is like, "Oh, Kobe, man, come on, man. We've been here all. We did our time. We got our workout in." Right? Telling Kobe that. They got their workout in 2 hours, 3 hours. Kobe been there since 6, 7 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. He's been there all day. Every day. So he couldn't get nobody to play. So he, goes and does his thing. I'm talking to some of my kids. So I asked one of my boys, I said, "Where's Kobe at?" He said, he's sitting in the elite. He said, "No, you're in the corner, coach, over there, Powell." I looked over, he way on the other side of the gym by himself with the chair turned around, throwing shoes and on the bag and stuff, and talking to himself. I said, "What's wrong with this boy?" I go over there to him. I sit down there. I kneel down in front of him. I said, "Kobe, what's wrong with you, boy? Why are you mad?" He said, "Coach." I said, "What?" He said, "How you gonna win 10 in a row and lose the last 2 and go home?" That's what he said to me. And then he said, "Michael Jordan ain't gonna win everything. Michael Jordan ain't gonna win everything." That's Kobe Bryant. That was Kobe Bryant. He had an internal fire that blazed so bright that those around him who didn't have a fire, you got burnt. And that's Melo. His fire is so bright that if you ain't careful, you might get burned. James Borrego, you're going to get burned, brother. Because you don't know who you playing with. Go ahead.
Coach Joe, I've started to realize that I've seen in the comments, this ever since LaMelo has been balling out, every time somebody gives him props, right? He's breaking records. He's doing all this amazing stuff. They belittle his talent. And these are the same people that's supposed to support the Ball family. This fake competition. It's okay to say LaMelo is making history. It's okay. But for some reason, when someone gives him his props, they want to act like, no, he's not that good. He's not. Why do they do that, Coach? It's odd to me.
Well, the reason they do that is because Rev kind of alluded to it earlier, and I thank you, Rev, for that. What it is uh, most people are mediocre in their lives. Most people are mediocre in their life. I'm sorry to say, but they are. Greatness, when it comes in a package that doesn't psychologically make sense, logically makes sense, two things happens with people. The people who are not haters say, well, I must understand this greatness. It's more to this, and I'm not really understanding. The other ones say default is, well, it ain't me, it's them. That they just lying. That's fake news. That's fake news. See, because they can't. Melo is a lightning rod. He's black and he's white. Okay. His daddy is unapologetically a strong black man. His mom is unapologetically on a part of their team, on that same team. I have never in my life seen a woman like Tina Ball go through what she's gone through and to be ignored the way she is being ignored and has been ignored, and her struggle and what she's been through. It has blown me away. And the only explanation for it is jealousy and anger and resentment for the narrative, like Rev said. This is new. They don't have a reference for it. They can't speak about it. So it must be wrong. See, the stuff I'm saying about Melo, anybody that doesn't believe me, that want to prove me wrong, go look at his highlight tapes and prove me wrong. Show me that he's not scoring. He doesn't have a command on 3 or 4 different levels already. And a command means can do it when you want to do it and comfortable doing it. That's what command means. Take the shots that most people take, the opportunities that most people would pass up because of fear. Because they're scared. Melo should not be this confident in this grown man league. To most of these haters, it doesn't make sense to him. It has to be rigged. This doesn't make any sense. That what Rev read earlier, all those names, they keep popping up. But the old media already has put the Ball family on the back burner. They were convinced before Melo came in that he was going to be just like Zoe.
Talk to him, coach.
But maybe even worse than Zoe, because he didn't weigh as much as Zoe. I mean, look at all the things they said Melo was going to have problems with. They said he couldn't defend. Well, I watch the games. I see defense, and I see not defense. But when I watch NBA games, I see the same thing. I see some people play defense, some people don't play defense. That's what I see. But I see a dude who plays defense like Larry Bird. That's what I see. See, Larry Bird couldn't play individual defense, but he was a great team and in the passing and being able to read body languages and read what people were doing. He was great at that. LaMelo is great at that. He can anticipate. His instincts are so freaking off the chain defensively. So now they can't say that. They said, well, he can't finish. You know, he can't finish. You know, because they said Lonzo couldn't finish. So of course Melo can't finish. So then when he starts finishing it like he did against Utah, it looked like he was a matador over in the Bulls in Pamplona. He was over there in Spain playing with the Bulls. Killing Gobert, killing Flowers, killing O'Neal, killing Donovan. Okay, they know this. That's why Donovan couldn't wait. Like I said yesterday, Donovan couldn't wait to talk about it. You know, it's similar, DJ, to how Barkley used to talk about Golden State. That kind of hate he used to give them. Oh, a jump shooting team ain't gonna never win. Oh, a jump shooting team ain't gonna never win the NBA championship. Well, okay, maybe you should probably go eat some more Krispy Kremes because that sugar then went to your head. Okay, that sugar then went to your head, okay, buddy, because you talking nonsense. See, it's the same thing here. This thing is so heavy. NBA TV made Greg Anthony not talk bad about Melo like he was doing it to pump his own boy up. I saw it with my own eyes.
Facts.
The first time he talked about Melo, he tried to diminish him like it wasn't nothing to pump his boy up. The next time I heard him talk about Melo, oh my God, you'd have thought he was talking about his own son. I was like, damn, how did he switch that up so quick? But I knew. I just started laughing because it's funny to watch these brothers, our family members, playing these code switching games. I ain't gonna call them out because they are brothers, and I ain't gonna call them out. But these apologists of the games. That's why I can't listen to too much commentary on TV when the game's on. I have to have something else on to listen to music. I can't listen to these people that are apologists for the NBA, for the business of the NBA.
Coach, I'm telling you, man, like real rap. What you sound like my uncle or something, man? Because when I watch the games, the volume is off. Like I can't watch the games with the volume. Like I want to be able to see it without the narratives coming in. And to everybody in the chat, I'm not gonna go off if anybody thinks Zion is better than Melo. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It is what it is. I just thought it was funny when y'all was comparing Zion to Jordan. That's just
that was off. Come on, if he was Jordan, the Pelicans will be top seed right now.
And it's not even a knock on Zion and nothing like that. Like, because I don't like to project what players can be. My reason for saying that Melo is a better overall player. Melo gives you the assists, he gives you the rebounds. He's a better defender than Zion. Like, people call out Zion every night. It's to the point on national TV. Jeff Van Gundy was calling him out and said his defense is so horrible. He doesn't know what he needs to do to fix it. DJ's been calling his defense out since game one. Also, Zion, he can really only drive one direction. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard for him to finish with the right. That's why he always drives left. So I think a guy that's ambidextrous and can finish on both sides and shoot threes and facilitate and get the rebound, to me, that guy is just a better overall player. But, I mean, if people have a different opinion, I'm not going to trip. I don't know if y'all thought I was going like, oh, no. I mean, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But discussing the game within the game, Coach, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up. That is a great way really to watch the game. Like, because it allows you to focus on the real game. When you allow that to come in and they're giving you narratives, that like they try to tell you what players to support. Y'all ever notice that? Like they tell you the good old guys. Like at the beginning of the season, they were talking up Gordon Hayward. Like they were just talking him up. And then now that LaMelo has started to ascend, if you look at the Charlotte Hornets pregame and during the game, they really talk about Melo. Like, really, that's the whole show. Really, that is the whole show. Like, the whole show, the buildup is, I'm talking about the commentary, is Melo. And, I can't think of the announcer that everybody is falling in love with for the Charlotte Hornets, the guy that's very exciting. Um, I don't know. Like, of course, he is excited because his viewership is going up. So he's going to talk about the thing that makes the Charlotte Hornets pop. But other than that, I have to watch the game. And it's not just when Melo plays, when anybody plays. I have to watch the game with the volume off so I can really study the game. You know what I mean? But the game that coach is putting down and DJ is getting down, Eric Collins, that's the guy's name. But the game that these brothers are putting down, we can't underestimate what we're seeing.
Rev, sorry, I gotta point this out. Do you mind?
Oh, go ahead, brother, please.
If Zion is a total NBA player, I think I was echoing. Oh, if Zion was a total NBA player, why does Lonzo have to assist him every time on defense? If he was that a complete player, you got some people in the comments talking about his stats and productions like Michael Jordan.
Because they're just looking at point totals because that's what the NBA has been watered down to.
Stat watching.
No one said that Zion couldn't pass. I just told y'all he was a point guard in high school. I don't think y'all watch basketball. The fact is he doesn't have the IQ to consistently pass the way that Lonzo and Melo do. If he did, his assist totals will be higher. That's why he puts his head down and goes to the rack, because when things get hot, like what makes guys like Kobe, Melo special, when the game is played in condensed spaces, they're still playing at the same pace.
Exactly.
That's what y'all are not understanding. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about just stats. If they send you to the line 10 times a game, you better average 27, 26. You got 10 freebies. Once again, another number y'all not calculating about Melo. Melo is giving you 34 and he's giving you, 17? Did he go to the line the other night at all when he gave you that 17?
No.
You see what I'm saying? So now add 10 free throw attempts to that 17 a night. Y'all, so I'm not gonna argue with you because I don't think we on the same frequency when it comes to understanding this game of basketball. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but I understand when coach talks, I hear somebody that knows the game. He's not looking at the box score. He knows the game. The reason why I think Luka is great, because Luka came over here playing his pace. They had the same write-ups about Luka being unathletic and all of this. And Luka said, yeah, and I'm going to slow ball you to death.
Facts.
And when you put a point guard on me, I'm going to take him to the post. And
facts.
I'm going to just keep it a buck. I got the complexion for the protection. So if I shoot 32%, it's okay. It's my team day one. This is the game within the game. I'm telling y'all how it goes. Luka will shoot. I watch Luka. Luka will shoot 6 threes and miss all 6. He still got the green light. They're asking about Zoe, coach. You talked a lot about Melo yesterday and today. Could you give us your breakdown on Zoe? Because I'm not going to speak before the elder. He knows more than me. Would you give us your breakdown on Zoe's game and what kind of situation you'd like to see him in?
Yes. Thanks, Rev. Rev, first of all, I don't know more than you. I've been around and I see things. Your value is just as high as mine. You see it's just same things that I see. Okay. So please don't do that, my brother, because that ain't the case at all. I just have seen a few more suns and a few more moons, but that don't mean I know more than you do about this game. You played it. You played it at the point guard position. And I know that anybody that play at the point guard position and is adequate in the least, okay, is a baller, because that's the most important position on the floor.
Appreciate that, brother.
Okay, so that's just the truth. So yeah, Lonzo. You know, there's two Lonzos. Okay, and we have to, and I think that we have to acknowledge that there's two. There's the pre-NBA Lonzo, and there's the post Lonzo, the NBA Lonzo. Let me speak about the pre-Lonzo, pre-NBA Lonzo. The pre-NBA Lonzo is one who was able to be confident enough in himself because he had the infrastructure backing him, meaning the UCLA or a whole organization. That whole thing was behind him. And he had green, orange lights, all kinds of lights. And he played like it. And we saw what he did. He took a UCLA team that hadn't been doing well long at all. He raised the level of everybody on them, got some of them dudes drafted who shouldn't have been drafted. Okay, that's the dude he is. And then he unfairly said that the narrative was, and this is when I think it started with Lonzo, the confidence thing. Because I think with the NBA Lonzo is a confidence issue. Because for me, the NBA is all about confidence. Professional sports is all about confidence. Physically, most everybody is at the same place. A few aberrations here and there. What separates you at the professional level is your mind. How your mind operates, how you see the game, and how fast you can process the information in real time and make movement on it. And that's difficult. A case in point, I saw. So I think many of us want to see the pre NBA zone in the NBA, but that's not the NBA game. The NBA game is not played that way. If he gets on the team with Charlotte and him and Melo play together, then you will see the old Lonzo come back. Because then he can play more instinctually. And he can play at the speed that he is used to processing the game in, that most of these players are not. See, and this thing talking about Curry and them and that style that they play, that is not the style that I'm talking about. That not at all. Because mostly that stuff is half court. See, so Lonzo to me, it was unfortunate that he had as many injuries as he had. Those injuries, because again, psychological. The NBA says, can you navigate all of the tread water? Can you navigate all of the trade winds that are going to come at you and still perform? Can you do that? That's what it's asking you. And if you can, what level can you do it at? So Lonzo, to me, I actually think that the reason he's playing better right now and playing more like we would like to see him play. I think he had 21 the other day, 19 in the first half and 2 in the second half. But I think that's a little Van Gundy there. I think it's because of Melo. I think Melo is reminding Zoe of who he is.
Coach.
Coach, there's some. I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach. There are some I'm gonna be real. There are some anti-LaMelo people who support the Ball family. I don't know.
Absolutely.
For some reason, they don't want this kid to shine. It's the weirdest thing. I want all Ball kids to shine, because if all shine, it's good for the family.
No. They don't want him to shine because, again, they cannot separate Lonzo from his LeVar from his kids. See, if you watch Ball in the Facts, if you watch that show, you know that Lonzo's personality is like his mama.
Right.
You know that. And it ain't gonna never be like his daddy. It's like his mama. If you also seen it, you seen that his LaMelo's personality is like his daddy's.
Mm-hmm.
The first show I saw, Melo on the second floor, and and LeVar yells down, "Hey Melo, we give you $20, you jump into the pool." He's like, "What?" He's grinning and laughing. And what did he do? Launch his ass off the second balcony window and into the pool. That's Melo. Lonzo would never do that. Jello would look for somebody else to second it before he did it. But that little one, no. Challenge? Oh, I take all challenges. So I think Zoe's game he's adapted it by being more healthy, and I think that the way he's playing now, that he can be successful in the NBA at that. He can be a top tier guard, not the Kyrie guard, not Melo guard, obviously, but he can be a top tier guard that's a lockdown defender. Great in the passing lanes, unbelievably magically with the ball in his hands and passing and knowing how the game goes, and comfortably shooting his threes. I think he's comfortable now shooting threes in the NBA for the first time, like he was at UCLA. So that's what I see with Zoe. But Melo's helping him. See, because I will never forget, never. And I grew up with, I'm one of 15 in my family, next to the youngest, a lot of us. So I know how the hierarchy goes. And I know how when the big ones pound on the little ones to toughen them up. So I can tell you that Melo, I will never forget that show where he was in Cleveland and Lonzo had just finished playing the Cavs, the Lakers. I think he was with the Lakers still. They just finished playing the Cavs and they won the game. And Melo clowned him right there on the front of the cameras and everything. He said, "Well, what happened to you? I thought you told me he was going to take 15 shots, Zoe." And Zoe started talking about that. Well, we just got to win. We just got to win. And Melo's like, "Well, all that sounds good, boy, but I ain't buying that shit. I mean, I don't care what you say. No, 1 shot, 2 shots. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. What is there to watch?" He said that to Melo, to Zoe on TV, his big brother. I was like, "Oh my God, this little boy is too much." Because Zoe tried to play it off. He was clearly hurt. So for me, Zoe is approaching, give him another year 2 of health, and I think we'll see a 18 to 22 point Zoe, 4 to 5 threes a game, shooting somewhere around high 30s, maybe 40%, somewhere close around there. Especially if he get with his little brother, because that'll just make him feel his confidence will just be through the roof, because Melo plays with such confidence. Melo will not let his big brother down. Yeah, he wanted to be better than Zoe, but let's keep it real. He loves his big brother and he wants his big brother to succeed.
That's amazing, Coach, how you point out that's the most important part. He loves his brother.
Right.
Ever since LaMelo has been doing his thing, I've been getting I read energy. I've been getting a weird vibe, and I get it. They're disappointed how the start Lonzo had, but this is good for the family. They don't look at it like that. They're like, if Lonzo's not playing at this high level, so LaMelo shouldn't as well, and that shouldn't work like that. Like exactly. If one of my brothers makes more money than me, right? He's successful. That's not a failure. That's a blessing.
That's right.
Because one of us is at a higher level. Now I'm doing well. Even though I'm not at that level, I'm so happy for him.
But DJ, you're not a hater.
Right.
See, you're not a
Speak on
you're
it.
not a hater, my brother.
Speak on it, man.
See, you trying to rationalize hate, and you can't rationalize hate because
Oh
hate is
my God.
illogical.
Can
It
you say
doesn't
that
make
again,
any.
brother?
Yeah, you're trying to rationalize hate, and hate isn't logical. It's illogical. It doesn't make sense. So you have to see. This is what hate is. Hate is born of fear. The father of hate is fear. That's the base of all of the emotions, like envy and jealousy and all. It's fear. That's at the bottom of it. And then at the bottom, the root of all of the joy and beauty and fun and all is love. See, and they can't share the same space. Okay, when one is present, the other one skedaddles because their vibrations are different. They cannot hold the same space together. That's why people say, often say, misery loves company. Misery does not love company. Misery loves miserable company. Because if you're in a good mood and you're around somebody who's miserable, one or two things are gonna happen. Either you gonna get miserable like them, or they gonna get happy like you. But both of y'all can't stay in that same space. See, somebody that vibration, those two vibrations cannot come together. They're like opposite magnets. They push each other apart. See, so all the hate, okay, that the Ball family receives, they don't feel it. Lonzo's the only one who really, to me, that I could see let it in a little bit. Because LeVar is supremely confident. Tina is supremely confident. If you watch that Facts thing and you watch Tina doing her rehab and stuff, man, you could tell that she was a baller. You could tell. Because when LeVar is pushing her, you see that she's like, yeah, you can see in her eyes. I can see in her eyes. She's saying, you better push me. You better push me. Because you know where I'm trying to go and you know how I'm supposed to be. And that's why LeVar be like, I was like, come on, one more, another one. Give me another one. See, this family is supremely confident. See, so Lonzo fell off a little bit. That was part of the whole BBB. See, when he was mad at LeVar about BBB and all that, that's what that was about. He wasn't mad because they started BBB. Them boys been around BBB all their life. They started that stuff when them boys were still little.
Hey, yo, Coach.
Okay, it didn't just come out when BBB didn't just come out when Lonzo went to UCLA. Come on, man, that's not true. Okay, so they not against BBB. What are we talking about? That's silliness. Okay, they love each other.
Talk to
they
him, Coach.
Pull for each other. Don't get it twisted. And the reason they do is because of LeVar and Tina. They parents roll like that. And LeVar has been telling that little one all his life, you gonna be the best. You gonna be the best. You gonna be the best. Been saying that to him all his life. You gonna be the best. Until it manifested in LaMelo breaking records and standing on the sideline talking about my mama and them raised a killer.
He's a dog, right, Coach?
Man, come on. Man, you can't write this stuff, man. This stuff is amazing. You can't make this up. This is amazing.
Yo, Coach, man, there was somebody in the comments saying, y'all don't talk about Jello. Well, shit, he got to play.
The reason we don't talk about Jello is because Jello is rehabbing his heart. And right. I'm not going to talk about Jello because there's nothing to talk about right now. He'll give us something to talk about. And then when he does, we'll talk about it. Because he's BBB too.
Coach, they want me to talk about nothing. Ain't
exactly.
Nothing
exactly. whoever said in the chat, and I'm not mad at you for saying this, but I just really want you to look at yourself if you're still in the chat. If you compare Zion to Michael Jordan, please do some research. Okay, please before you do something like that, because you're letting everybody else know that maybe you're not really doing research. You're kind of just going on, what your feeling is, and feelings are fine. We're not against our feelings, but when you say something that's so demonstrably can be shown to be kind of silly. Okay, Michael Jordan played on the Olympic team and won NCAA championship in college. He didn't come in as a teenager. I mean, you can't really do that. Can't really compare grown men to teenagers. I'm sorry. Not 1-to-1. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Michael Jordan was an aberration. He was not Michael Jordan is not a regular human being as it relates to his family. If you know anything about Michael Jordan's family, you will know that Michael Jordan was Gulliver and his family was the Lilliputians.
Facts.
Okay, if you know anything about them, you'll know that this was an aberration. Nowhere was this could this have been predicted? Nowhere, because it's so far off the beaten path. The same thing with Melo. See Melo, when Melo passes, sometimes he reminds me of John Stockton. Like when he throws the ball past people's ears, that's what John Stockton used to do. He had them big ass hands. He would pick the ball off the dribble with one hand and throw it right past the defender's ear. And nobody is used to defending their ears, so you never could steal his balls or pick them off. Melo does the same thing. He throw it right by your ear, the defender's ear. He throws people open like football. This dude's skill set is off. I mean, it's ridiculously off the chain. It's not a little bit off the chain. It's ridiculously off the chain. Do y'all understand the fact that he can pass the ball off the dribble without catching it with either hand is phenomenal? That out of 500 something basketball players in the NBA, in a game, almost nobody can do that on a consistent basis. Do y'all understand that?
Coach.
The fact that he can throw people open in a game where he's not supposed to be used to the speed is amazing.
They're just looking at the stats, Coach. They're just looking at they're looking at the stats. And no, the comment was made by our beloved brother, Run It Back, that Melo should not be in the conversation for GOAT, but Zion and Luka.
We play no defense. I don't know what to say, bro.
Hold on. It should be in the conversation for GOAT. Michael Jordan, in his second season, went into the old Boston Garden and put 63. He put 63 on the Boston Celtics.
On 3 Hall of Famers.
On 3 Hall of Famers. And y'all are comparing Zion to him right now. Once again, I'm going to clarify my comments because Run It Back, you seem to want to argue with me. I didn't write the article on The Athletic, and they weren't comparing LaMelo to their overall careers.
Exactly.
They were just saying he's having a better rookie season at this point than any of them. I didn't write the article, brother. I didn't write them. But I bet you if they tell you enough times, you're gonna start believing it too. That's how the game go, man. No, you said no, stand by your words. You said Zion and Luka can be the GOAT. Luka shooting
Yeah, he did say that.
32% from three. No defense. They had a whole segment last night on ESPN about Luka's trash ass defense. So you mean to tell me he can be the GOAT, but a kid who's almost the same height, dribbles better than Luka, is shooting a better 3-point percentage than Luka, has more moves to get to the rack than Luka, he can't possibly one day be the GOAT. Possibly. And I'm not, no, time out running back. I'm not saying that any of them can't be the GOAT. I don't like capping out people's, I don't like capping out people's ceiling. I'm just saying right now, you keep comparing him to Jordan statistics. Now you keep saying, well, he has Jordan stats right now. No, the hell he doesn't. What are you talking about? So you telling me that Zion is going to go to the Clippers this playoff and put 63 on them?
If they can make the playoffs. Their defense is so trash.
Not shoot no threes.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he play Kawhi, he's not going to get them calls in the playoffs if they make it. All these regular season calls that they give people to make them stars, like James Harden going to the line 21 times. Anybody in the league can go to the line 21 times, you blow the whistle. That's just a fact. I'm just keeping it real.
But Rev, they don't believe you, so you should tell them to send a postcard to Giannis and ask him.
Facts. Facts. I'm just saying what you said, brother. You wanted this smoke, but the fire come with it.
Yo, Rev, he's saying that. No, I just talked about stats. Well, isn't that making a point on who could be the GOAT? You need your stats.
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
Absolutely. What it is, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Running back. Whenever we get to bigging up Melo, and I know you're a supporter of Zoe, but it seems like you always are looking for a way to downgrade Melo. No one said Melo is the GOAT. You sound ignorant. You keep saying the same thing. I just exposed you for how you just said that Melo cannot be the GOAT, but Zion and Luka Doncic can be the GOAT. If anybody scrolls up in the chat, you can see the evidence of that statement. Now, brother, I don't want this to become bullying. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like that. If that's your opinion, cool. All I'm saying is if you have a problem with the article from The Athletic, go ahead, write the man who wrote the article and tell him, no, it's not true. Erase your numbers off the page. And delete all the game footage that coach is watching. I'm watching. The same guys that was hating on Melo before the draft are now coming around and saying it. We didn't say this. Like, I don't understand why you getting so frustrated. I don't know what else to tell you. You think Zion is that good? I think Zion is a great player. I think he got 6 years to be great. If he don't lose weight, he's gonna be in trouble.
I love Zion. I'm gonna go on the record of saying this. I love Zion's game. It's just sometimes Zion makes me think he has to use the bathroom when he's running the floor.
Right. That weight, that weight in those knees, do not match. And you know what I'm saying? Somebody brought up a comment. I want to say it was Sweat Boxing. He said a comment in the chat that was very. I was gonna bring up this name, but I don't think y'all watched him for real, so I wasn't gonna bring it up because there was gonna be a mute argument. But he said Sean Kemp without defense. That's exactly what Zion is, man. But Sean Kemp played in a day and age where they hand checked.
So that's why for me I can't go with that because Sean Kemp played in a physical league and he was 6'10". This dude is 6'4", 5.
True.
So Kemp was a monster. And he put up monster numbers against other monsters. Zion ain't putting up numbers against other monsters. I look at the games. I don't see monster numbers against monster big dudes. I see him taking advantage of dudes who are playing out of position that he outweighed by about 40 pounds, 50 pounds.
Hold on, coach. Let me put this guy back on trial. Okay, running back. So I literally said Melo is special. This is the first night I've heard you say that. Any other time we bring up Melo, you got something to say. You have some slight that you throw in there. Okay, so you said, I'm gonna do you like Menace to Society. You bought the bottle of beer at 11:30. Since we got to do it like that, we in the interrogation room. All right. You said that LaMelo cannot be the GOAT. If I'm lying, y'all tell me I'm lying. Go scroll up in the chat. You can see his comments. Somebody copy and paste it, all right? Then you turn around and say, but Zion and Luka can be the GOAT. If you feel like Melo is special, how can you isolate him and say he has no chance of being the GOAT, but these other two players have chances to be the GOAT? What do you what is your logical reasoning for that if it's not coming from a place of hate? Because right now, as we just read the numbers from someone else's article, once again, it's saying he's on a trajectory to pass them in his rookie season. Okay, thank you, running back. Now you're telling the truth. Now you're telling the truth. You don't have to scroll up that gamer. You've been his biggest cheerleader the entire chat. So you know what he said. I know you're trying to ride for your homeboy, bad boys for life. You ride together, you die together. I get it. So y'all can take this lesson together. With that being said, run it back just said to everyone in the chat, I doubt he can. But you don't doubt Luka and you don't doubt Zion. But you got love for Melo and think he's special. That doesn't make sense to me. DJ, am I tripping?
No, and he said we just realistic. Nothing is realistic for saying that Luka and Zion could be GOATs. And they don't play a lick of defense. And then they came around and said LaMelo don't play any defense and can't stick to the subject. See, this is when I know the jig is up, man. Like, I have respect for people that just go out and say, I don't like LaMelo. I don't like LaMelo, but I like Lonzo. At least I will respect you.
Say it with your chest out.
Yeah, just say it. I mean, it's not a big deal at all. And people, stop doing the joint Captain Save a subscriber. Come on now. You could defend your own talking points.
Right. And that gamer, you know exactly what was said because you was right there saying it with him. So you just got, you just learned a lesson as well. And for you, for the stat watchers, and Zion Williams is one of the worst defenders in the league at his position, that gamer. Like I said, they have segments on it. Jeff Van Gundy talked about it for half of the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying this brother won't get better. And that's not saying he won't lose the pound that's needed and be the greatest player he can be, and I hope he is. But with that being said, for some points of reference to see if me and Coach's line, go back and look at Charles Barkley in his prime.
Oh, my God.
Go back and look at Chuck in his prime. Go back and look at look at Grandma and Mom some of those years in Charlotte. Go back and look at Sean Kemp. When players like that relied that much on athleticism, when other portions of their game, when it starts to decline, the players that are more polished and with more skill, they continue to rise. That's why Kobe, everyone knew he was going to surpass Shaq. Because Kobe was more polished and skilled. Shaq was something just like y'all said. Shaq was a dominant force. But being a dominant force with that much weight and size takes a toll on a body. Kobe was built aerodynamic. His body was built for the position. He was the perfect two guard in my estimation. So, that's just my opinion. And it is what it is. You ain't got to take it. You ain't have to take it as gospel or nothing like that. To me, when I'm really watching the game, I ain't talking about no stats. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about exactly what Coach was talking about when they were at the AAU tournament and Melo was playing with the team full of undersized players. That AAU team was not one of the top AAU teams in the nation. It was not.
Facts.
That team Zion was on, and this is how I know y'all really didn't. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but y'all didn't go through the AAU circuit because you would have picked up on what Coach was saying right then. Zion was on a team full of guys that were ranked. He played on a team with Ja Morant at one point. Ja Morant wasn't ranked, but he was always projected to be something. When you go to certain AAU teams, what happens is they scout you and they put you on these AAU teams. LeVar Ball being an outlier, his is a little bit different. A lot of these guys are the guys that come from his neighborhood in Chino Hills that's running hills with him and doing the program that he implemented. So for Melo to have that many points in a game against one of the top AAU teams in the nation, against the top player in the nation, Zion Williamson, and being younger, common sense should tell you something right there. But if you want to go out on the shield, go ahead.
Hey, Rev, let me say this, Rev. Just let me for a second. And in a packed, overflowing gym.
Facts. That's the facts, Coach.
He's the younger one. And he's the younger one.
Facts.
You know, it seems to be a theme here. LaMelo seems to be the younger one all the time, but he also seems to be the baller all the time too. Wow, look how that works.
Yep, absolutely, Coach. Absolutely. So, because that gamer Dante, and I feel like you'd be trolling, because if you were listening to the conversation of the game within the game, see, you're just focusing on the game. Coach is talking about the game within the game. This conversation came up because Coach was talking about their matchup in the AAU in Las Vegas. He wasn't even talking about right now.
Not at all.
So for you to sit up here, you know, because when feelings are hurt, people like to type LMAO and put laugh emojis
make
on
themselves
the
feel better.
Yeah, make yourself feel better. Ain't nobody laughing but you. And if they laughing, they might be laughing at you, not with you. You just really sit down, and y'all think I'm doing this to be cordial. No, the reason why I tell Coach to speak is because we have to get back to the point of listening to our elders. Listening to our elders, because like he said, he's seen more suns and moons. And Tragic Joe, I'm not one of them guys. You say, Rev, don't entertain, and I'm not going to call those brothers dummies or anything like that, who don't know basketball. The reason why I entertain it is not to shame anyone. Really, this is an opportunity to learn. This is an opportunity to learn. And what the first thing you learn when you are proven wrong on something, you learn something about your manhood. And that's if you can check your ego. Woo! That's the biggest lesson that needs to be learned.
Rev, before I send it to Coach, because I know he about to cook, let's say it like this. This is a channel that I start, right? And I build up. I'm listening to Coach. See, to be a man, to grow in the society, you must listen to your elders. LaMelo, Lonzo, and Jello are doing well with their lives because they listen to their elders. When you act like you know everything, your wisdom gets diminished. So listen, learn, and we can all grow. It's called maturity.
That was great, DJ and Rev. That was great. Let me go here with this, okay? See, I don't compare errors in players. I never do that, and you guys won't ever hear me do that. And the reason I don't is because I know the game, and I know that's a silly thing to do. I know that I can't even engage in a conversation with the average basketball fan because they have no idea what I'm really talking about when we talk about basketball. I'm talking about the whole game. All of the aspects of the game. See, and no two players are alike. So how can I compare anybody? We sitting here talking about Sean Kemp, and we talking about Zion, and we talking about Larry Johnson, and we talking about excuse me, some of these players that have come through that we can sort of glean what they're similar to, but they're not. None of them are the same. They're all different. Different skill sets, different techniques, different sizes. It's different. Kobe Bryant, to me, was more skilled than Michael Jordan. Period.
Better handle, that's right.
No, better shot, better handle. He had a lot more better than Jordan when he came in the league. And he was 18 and Jordan came in at 21-2. Jordan had a heck of a head start. Kobe could do way more things with the ball when he came in at 18 than Jordan could do when he came in at 21-22. Me and Matt Doherty argued about this at the time. And I told him, I said, well, okay, well, then show me you wrong. Show me why I'm wrong. You played with Michael in college. When did Michael ever become an efficient shooter, 3-point shooter? When? Michael's first 7 years in the league was over half his points came at the basket on layups and dunks. Kobe couldn't do that. See, Kobe Bryant came in the NBA as a outlier. Okay, never in the history of the NBA had there been a 6'5" guard drafted out of high school. Because you can find 6'4" or 6'5s as grown men. Why would you go get kids? So nobody went and got no kids. The smallest, Kobe was the smallest dude who ever came out of high school. See, and that's how Jerry was able to steal him from Charlotte, because they thought they got one over on Jerry West. But he understood. He said, "Yeah, this is an outlier. We may never see this again. A kid this talented, this skilled." Now, when I say skilled, I'm talking passing, I'm talking running, I'm talking jumping, I'm talking rebounding, I'm talking the fundamentals of the game. Kobe had footwork at 18 like a pro, the way Melo has footwork at 19 like a pro. See, this game is not just about points, because if it was just about points, Bill Russell would have never won 11 championships and be considered as great as he was, because he controlled the game from the defensive side of the ball. So y'all got to understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to share with you not just what we see that's obvious to us about what everyone can see, but also what most cannot see, because we're not raised in an environment to look beyond the appearance of things. We are raised in an environment to judge the thing that we see. Not to look beyond the appearance of it. And so a lot of y'all, I can understand you why you don't understand Melo. Because number one, you have no reference for seeing this kind of talent. And number two, you've never seen this kind of support and a LeVar Ball like you've never seen this before. See, this isn't Todd Marinovich's father, who used to play for the Raiders, and he tried to turn him into a quarterback and a pro quarterback from young. That's not what LeVar was doing. See, so you guys got to understand that what we're doing here is that we're sharing what we see. And we're sharing what we see not to diminish or take away from anybody else's sight, but to enhance all of our understandings, to grow all of our understandings about what? That we are all one when it comes down to it, but we don't live in a system that promotes oneness. And that's what we're talking about. That's why a show like The Game Beyond the Game has to be talked about, because we're not going to just see the game. Those of us that know what we're seeing, we're not just going to see the game. And it's up to us to change this narrative so not only we can free ourselves, so we can free these other brothers and sisters too. And then we all benefit from everybody being free. But we can't do that if we're willing to accept things that upon review and things that we examine don't hold up to scrutiny in the least bit of way. Many people are angry at LeVar Ball, and I understand. I get it. Not everybody likes everybody, but you know, he had the temerity to say, "I'm going to be a modern day Don King, but be it for my family," knowing that he gonna get the arrows, knowing that he gonna get the vitriol, but he didn't care because I'm gonna get the other stuff too. There are gonna be plenty of people to admire me. There are gonna be plenty of people that see that this is a wonderful thing, and there has been. The world has embraced Melo. And that's another thing that a lot of these shines don't like, is that Melo has support from around the world. LeBron James didn't have support around the world when he came in the league. Kobe Bryant didn't have support around the world when he came in the league, except Italy, one place. LaMelo has support around the world. People tuning in from all kinds of area codes, watching Melo play. And that's why I said, DJ, that Borrego gonna get fired. See, he gonna get fired. He has to get fired because that is the path that he's on. He's asking to be fired. He's letting everybody know that I am not the guy to usher in this greatness. As Rev said many times, he is the substitute teacher. I mean, you have people, not my word, you have people who love the game of basketball that are tweeting about on a daily, on a semi-daily basis, and some of them daily, new and people tweeting about the Hornets every day who didn't even know they existed last year. For one reason and one reason only, Melo Ball. But then y'all want us to talk about something else.
Right.
Some of y'all want us to talk about something else. Like we should be ashamed or embarrassed that we see this greatness and we're willing to be a part of it and willing to witness it and willing to take our stand in the public square and say, yes, we see that greatness right there and we're on board. And we're gonna take on all the challenges.
Coach, hold on, DJ. Would you speak on that? Because see, that's the most important point. That's not easy to do, especially when it's narratives out there. Can you speak on the importance of being willing to do that?
Be a little. Give me a little more specific on me.
Just being willing to say something is great when you've been told it's not.
Okay. Yeah, I will. DJ, you want to go ahead before I do that? I'm not gonna forget.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
No, go ahead, DJ. I can wait.
Yeah, I get confused sometimes. I see some people say that they see LeVar's vision and they like LeVar, but there's this weird jealous energy of LaMelo. I'm gonna open Pandora's box. I'm probably gonna piss off a lot of people, but I'm a raw dude. So I think when LaMelo signed with Puma, a fraction in the fan base was mad at him because he didn't sign with BBB. So they treated LaMelo like an outsider. Now, this is what I think. And I don't think it's right that they should hate on a young man, can't even congratulate him. I got people that come through the comments every time somebody says something good about LaMelo, they treat him like he's a role player.
So are you done, DJ?
Yeah, I was done.
Okay. So Rev, what I'll speak to that. the part of it is this, Rev. The part of it is this, Rev, and I believe this in my heart. And I'm gonna be raw right now. I'm gonna say what I'm getting ready to say right now is going to be, you judge it for yourself. I'm a former Marine. My father was in World War II in the Navy. And I say this with an open heart and an open mind, that this country is one of the greatest illusions that has ever existed on the planet of Earth. Because the narrative that it sends out amongst its own people and the world is that left is right and right is left. And many people are waking up to that reality. There are many people in this country that can't fathom the idea of America not being the shining example on the hill. See, after Trump, many people are conceding, okay, well, yeah, and the Capitol and all that stuff, and all the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys and all of the supremacists, the white supremacists, and all these other folks is coming along. People seeing them now and saying, okay, yeah, we know they're out there. Well, the truth is that they've always been out there. They've been out there since the Civil War and before the Civil War. So what we're having right now is there's a convergence that's happening on the planet. And Trump's ushered it in, believe it or not, because he had his own version of the truth. And many Americans had a version of the truth as well. And they've come to understand that that version is wrong. They've been bamboozled. They've been taken advantage of. They've been just flat out abused. And so right now, there's a couple of camps that's brewing in this country. One is for the one is brewing for the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And another one is brewing for an overthrow of that and everything that it represents. Melo, the Ball Boys, Tina, and LeVar represent taboo and something that should have never happened to many people in this country. And that's the truth. I cannot tell you how many people have said to me, and I'm light skinned, y'all can see my picture. Okay. I was adopted as a kid, so I didn't meet my biological father growing up. I met my biological mother, who is dark skinned. And I can't tell you how many times people have, white brothers and sisters, white Americans have said to me after getting to know me, you know, you're not really black. You know, you don't seem like you black. You know, you're not really black like them. You know, you're really not like the rest of them. I can't tell you how many times I've heard versions of that. And each time I've told them, excuse yourself. You are mistaken. You are espousing ignorance right now. And I am not going to receive it or even entertain it. So kick rocks and get the heck out my face with that nonsense that you espousing, that you throwing at me right now. Because you cannot take me home and justify me to your mom and your daddy. Me and you both know that. So stop it. Because they're going to look at me and say, well, what the hell is he? Which means they know I ain't one of them. A lot of people see that when they look at them Ball brothers. Them Ball brothers bring a lot of emotions up in people about relationships and how this country deals with relationships and the color line, all this stuff. See, that's where that whole narrative came that Melo hadn't worked hard. He couldn't have worked hard. He's light skinned. Had to have had it easy. When anybody that knows anything about the Ball family know that LeVar Ball was a taskmaster. He don't play in his workouts. You better work out. You better work hard. Otherwise, you ain't gonna be a part of his thing. He'll tell your ass to go sit down in a minute and go crochet or something or make pies. I never forget to ask Melo. They said, Melo, or the one of the reporters said, say, Melo, what if you told your dad you didn't want to play basketball and you wanted to do something else? Melo started laughing. He said, yeah, right. Yeah, right. See, but that's that narrative. He should have went to Golden State. He'd be up there with the light skins. I've heard people say that. Not flat out, but insinuated. Absolutely, I've heard him say that. See, so a lot of this vitriol that Melo receives he is the personification of a lot of people's hate because of his parents and because of how many people in this country have been raised to believe how we're supposed to show up with each other. And he has the mendacity and the audacity to be confident and not give a care what y'all think and still go out there and ball. He got that hating ass coach on his fucking with him. That hating ass general manager messing with him. Michael Jordan sitting back smoking a cigar, letting it all go by and not say anything because he a Nike dude and he really don't want to promote nothing that's got to do with Puma. So he letting it happen. See. And Melo's attitude is, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Take this floater in your face. Take this layup. Take this three in your face. So it's a lot of that stuff going on, my brothers, because they have tricked us into believing the narrative of this nation that we are separate based on our geography, based on our look, the way we look, based on who our family members in. When the truth is, none of that stuff is true. The only truth is we're divided based on money. That's the only thing that divides us. It's money. Who has it and who don't? That's why when Melo put them gold teeth in his mouth, put them from the wall dude in Houston. I think he got them teeth from him. Okay, he put them teeth in his mouth. Everybody's talking about Melo spent his money on the teeth, and they asked him in the press conference, Melo, you spent money on the teeth. Melo said, "Excuse me, I don't spend my checks." He said, everybody knows that. Do you understand what he just said? A 19-year-old told a grown-ass man, "How dare you speak to me in this manner?" As if I'm some ignorant shine. I know stuff that you don't know about economics, you fool. I don't spend my checks. My checks go in the bank account, you idiot. Who did I just hear say that? One of the dudes from Shark Tank just said that. Said his mother and father and taught him growing up. He said it's online. Go look it up. He said, if anybody ever asks me, I never spend the principal of my investment. I always spend what comes after what comes after that. I leave all of the principles right there. That's what Melo was saying. How's a 19-year-old supposed to know that? And then have the audacity, the confidence to say it to another grown man. Embarrassing. For asking such a stupid question and making an assumption that he was stupid. Just because he didn't go with BBB, he didn't learn. He didn't learn from his father. He didn't learn from Lonzo. He hasn't learned from those who came before him. Crap. That's nonsense. He has learned. See? But the narrative is he can't possibly know nothing. He too young. He got a loudmouth father. He can't possibly know nothing that we didn't tell him, that we can't get credit for. See, that's what this whole thing is with Charlotte. They want credit. They want to be able to say that they are responsible in some way for LaMelo Ball, and they know they will never be able to say that. Never. Just like John Wooden never fixed his mouth and said he was responsible for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton and what players they turned out to be. He never said that. He knew what he had and what was coming in that gym. But you got this no-name nobody. They asking him questions about his system. What system? What system you got, Borrego? You ain't got no system. You ain't stood on your own and done anything to show that you have some system. You ain't got nothing. You a fraud. And that's the reason why the walls are coming down around you. The barbarians are at the gate, Buster. They beating on the gate. They coming for you. They got the torches and everything. Screw this thing up tomorrow. And I guarantee you his ass gonna be on the clock. Officially. See, because I'm gonna tell you what's happening. The Charlotte fans are now starting to take ownership of Melo. See, they're starting to see Melo as their own. I'm seeing tweets where people are starting to say, oh man, we finally got one. We finally got one. Woo, we got one. We got one. See, they're starting to feel like Melo is theirs. And let's be honest, when you start coming after people who feel like you're coming after theirs, what they gonna do? They gonna come after you. And they gonna come after Borrego. You can believe that. This love affair with his ego, as it relates and manifests through Dante and the twins, has run its course. Not sustainable, can't sustain itself. It's run its course. Because now everybody can see now. The cat is out the bag, and you can't put Pandora back in the box. Cat is out the bag. Melo is way more, not a little bit. Melo is way, this is what they're saying. Melo is way more than we ever imagined. That's what they're saying. That's what that article Red was reading you from The Athletic. They're astonished themselves. They're going, God, dog, we did this research. Man, he on pace to do this. Oh my, how did I miss that? Listening to narratives that aren't true, buying into ideas and ideology that is a flat lie and is dead. I had a guy on Twitter saying some stuff the other day about Melo negatively. So I tweeted to him, and I really don't tweet to these shines, but I tweet to him. I said to the guy, I said, yeah, pretty good there. Hating on a 19-year-old living his dreams. You must be proud of yourself. You probably have kids too, don't you? Guy came back, said something, and I give him my favorite line when I finally do. Sometimes when I do tweet them, like I was saying, DJ, sometimes they want the hurricane, I give them the hurricane. Sometimes they want the tornado, you get the tornado. Sometimes they want the fire, I'm giving you the fire. See, I'm a firm believer in some people that genuinely want an ass whooping, that it's your duty if they come to you for you to give it to them. I'm a firm believer in that. See? And that's what they're doing. They're asking for a butt whooping, and Melo gonna give it to him. Him and JJ gonna give it to him. What did Melo say when they asked Melo? If you guys remember in the room, what did Melo say when they asked Melo about what his goals are? I ain't never heard no rookie say this. Never. In all my years of listening to NBA basketball and the conferences and talking to players, I ain't never heard no young player come into the league say, I'm working on being a Hall of Famer. I'm not working on trying to be an all-star and all that. I'm working on a Hall of Fame career, and this is my first step toward a Hall of Fame career. That's what JJ is on. That's what Melo is on. So that's why I say Borrego, he can kick rocks because he's not strong enough. You know, he showed me when he started doing all that double talk and all that. You know, Melo, it make me want to be a better man. Oh my God, he make me want to coach inspired. All right, hey Melo. I was waiting for him the music to start and then to put on a clown hat in the nose and start dancing around the doggone thing there. Like, hey, are you Bozo? Who are you? Because you ain't fooling nobody. We know that you hate Melo. Because any chance you get to throw shade at him, you do. Warranted or not, you do. And more than one time, you do it repeatedly. Including that lie he told the other night, talking he took him out because he was tight. He didn't play him in the fourth quarter because he didn't want to. He wanted to watch his minutes. Yeah, right. Okay. Who you thought believed that? Who you thought was buying that one? Nobody. So that's what I see about tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? What's happening underneath that we don't see? But I hold Michael Jeffrey Jordan responsible for LaMelo Ball's growth and how he's treated in Charlotte. I hold him responsible. So y'all go ahead on.
Legendary coach, man, legendary. And you'll be seeing more of Coach Joe. Coach Joe knows what he's talking about. And this discussion is only for the real. If you're shy or you're mentally fragile, this is not the show for you. And Rev, you got any last words before we wrap up?
Nah, brothers, honor and a privilege, and I look forward to tomorrow's game and chopping it up with you, brothers, man.
Will do.
And Rev, thank you, my brother, for your presence. Thank you, my brother, for your energy. Thank you, my brother, for your experience and for what you've gone through and willing to share it. We appreciate you. I appreciate you because I know that your path, and I know it wasn't easy. See, what you speaking from and where you speaking from, you had to earn that. Nobody gave those lessons to you. I know that. Appreciate you for that.
Appreciate you, brother.
And DJ, brother, I love you, brother. I love you, brother, so much. I want you brothers to know that I love you, brother, so much from my heart. You brothers are the personification of what I think young black men should be. I appreciate y'all in more ways than y'all would ever know. DJ, thank you for all that you do, my brother, of giving of yourself selflessly to this channel, to these fans, to the community, and to what's coming. Thank you, my brother. You are an amazing brother.
Thank you, bro. And man, this is a blessing, man. I think the Most High is really looking out for me and protecting me, and because he knows this is great. And I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I'm gonna keep giving the raw content that everyone deservedly needs. This is a family. It comes from the heart. And I may not have any vacations and anything else and working a lot, but it's worth it. If I got to do it 3 times of the difficulty, I do it again. So thank you guys. Shout out to Super Team VIP for the $24 super chat. He said, this is a great talk. The panel's great. New media is rising. It is. And we just getting started. Believe that. Let's roll.
Can I say one other thing?
Yes, my brother.
I want to just say to the room, to every person who stayed here that participated in this, you are as equally important as we are. And I'm gonna leave you with an African term that I learned when I was living in Africa called Ubuntu. And it means because of me, you are, and because of you, I am. Thank you.
Blessings, 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 blessings.